Well, I can.
Thank you. I appreciate the East Coast love. Um, we were getting into just about a little bit about Justin's background, how he found out about his diagnoses and such. And if you would like to like kind of go through it a little bit again, Justin, for her.
I was explaining how when I was told I was diagnosed, that I honestly didn't know what it was. I didn't know if it was the MS-13 gang they were talking about. Didn't know. I was facing issues like, just being fatigued and depressed and just not feeling myself for about 2 years prior to that, but they never sent me to get, MRIs of, the spinal and the brain and all of that. And then once they finally did, they hit me with the DX.
Cool.
And here I am now.
And then you said you were diagnosed you've been diagnosed 2 years, but you feel that you have had these symptoms longer to that. So what exactly led you to go to the doctor and start like, what's going on? What's the problem? What's happening to me?
Well, it started off with, I had a hip surgery. It was a labral scraping.
Mm-hmm.
Now that was like, I couldn't walk no longer than like 5 minutes without like severe pain in my left hip, like somebody was stabbing me. So they went in there, they said, did a, whatever, ultrasound, whatever it's called, and said that, something was frayed, and they went in there and did a labral scraping. Now that, that was a big issue. But I kept telling them, like, I still don't feel myself. I still don't feel myself. And they just thought, like, like I'm not going to say any other doctor, there are different doctors out there, but my experience, a lot of ones that I came across, it's like, you don't know what you're talking about, that you don't know what your body is, and you don't know what you're feeling. So to me, after a while, like, honestly, I felt like a liar, like, to myself, like, I'm making this up. Like, what could be the problem?
Maybe I'm bugging. Yeah. Maybe it's me.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm thinking I'm manifesting these thoughts by myself, because everybody, especially I was a child, I felt like everybody, like you felt, was calling me a liar. I'm like, maybe I am a liar. Maybe I am making this stuff up, or maybe it's just me and I'm bugging out. You know what I'm saying? You kind of get this confliction, and that, I feel like that confliction itself leads to depression. Because now you're mind fucked, bro. Now you don't know what to believe. How did you feel, Roxy, around that time when you were first?
When I was diagnosed, I had depression anyway. So I kind of thought I was having a mental health situation where, like you said, Justin, like, is this something that's in my head? Am I manifesting this myself? Am I making myself paranoid? Have I become a hypochondriac? And it kind of takes a while to like get the confidence to be like, no, there's something going on here. Like, this is not in my mind. I'm not making this up. Like, someone has to listen. Someone has to take this on board and help me and stop trying to act like I don't know about myself. Because I am me. Of course I know about myself. I feel the pain I feel. And you've got to not allow yourself to be gaslighted in the medical system, because it causes us a long pain in the future. Like, we need to try and change that narrative for other people, because all of us have that connection where we just do not get listened to initially, and we have that level of disbelief in ourselves because of it. It's not a nice thing to deal with at all.
I totally concur. Like, extreme. I want to read some stuff to you guys. I salvaged some information because I'm a big learner. I love to not only learn about other things, but I love to learn about what we go through and what our history beyond just African American history, our medical history. So here I have from multiple sclerosis .org. So for African Americans, multiple sclerosis has said that it might be identified within our genes, and our genetic code might be, this is all might be's. They don't give us anything conclusive. So you're gonna be like, huh, might be. Everything is might be, because they don't know anything about us. And I'm gonna tell you why they don't know anything about us. And it begins with they said something about it might be environmental, it might be genetic, but there's a great lack of African American participation in clinical trials. And this goes back to the infamous Tuskegee syphilis experiment. It was a 40-year study done on African Americans, and they gave African Americans literally syphilis and then left them untreated. And this is why I feel like a lot of African Americans don't come out saying, hey, I have a disease and what are you going to do for me? Because we're always pushed underneath the rug and swept aside, and then not giving the, how can I say, the medical attention that we deserve. So in result, they died from the untreatable disease. Although the study ended in 1972, and a formal apology was told and administered as an act, and the effect of the experiment was long lasting. This is PTSD. Like if it's nothing itself, like I don't want to be part of a group of people that are being poked and probed with experimental drugs. And I'm coming from a life of dealing with MS for so long, and since I was so young, with 5 different treatments, I'm tired. My body's tired. My body needs to release all the toxins that it has engulfed through Western medicine. So I understand why people do not come up, hey, I have multiple sclerosis and I need to be treated, because all it is that we're an experiment all over again. And
Yeah.
you don't know how long lasting these effects are. You don't know what else it does to you. Because from the day that we're born, the first thing they do is inject us. We go into the pediatrician, they give us medication to hopefully stop the susceptibility of typhoids and this and that and that, but we really don't know what they're putting in our bodies. So I have PTSD from a young child being administered steroids to the point where I couldn't control my weight any longer, because I'm not physically active anymore. I couldn't dance. I couldn't do sports. I couldn't join dance team. I couldn't join anything, basketball, couldn't do anything because of an impairment that I had no control of. And from that, they kept giving medications on top of medication on top of medications, which only gave me in conclusion, and it also started giving me different symptoms that I didn't have prior. So I want to go through what type of medications have you been on, Justin?
Well, are we talking about symptoms or are we talking about for MS?
For MS.
The only medication I've been on for MS is Ocrevus. Went straight on Ocrevus. Okay. Ocrevus. You know, there's different ways that people pronounce it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And now, have you done anything else that helps you with MS?
The only thing I can honestly say that really helped me, because I was wheelchair bound. Like, it was that bad. I had 2 flare-ups, like major flare-ups, back to back. And yeah, I thought, like I said, I thought it was over. I definitely thought it was the end of it. You know, I couldn't play with my son no more. That was even more devastating to, you know, want him wanting me to play all the time, and I just sitting there. I'm not even happy. But yeah, Ocrevus, and yeah, no, just physical therapy. That's the only thing I did, was not give up on myself. That was it.
And do you find that Ocrevus is effective for you? Is it helping you? What helps you?
Marijuana. That definitely helps me as far as with my symptoms.
All day, every day.
I think we're in the same. I think we're in the same room smoking the same spliff. Like literally, I'm completely with you. How did marijuana help with your symptoms?
Well, I've been smoking marijuana basically since a young kid. You know, it was always the high and the socialism and everything like that. But once I noticed and learned and, you know, got my medical card and everything, and I did research about marijuana and what it's supposed to do. Back in my day, you know, pretty sure you guys can relate to. You go to the corner, you go pick it up. That was it. You ain't know what you were smoking. It was weed. It was good. It was whatever. You had a bag of seeds or you had a bag of goods.
Yeah.
Someone also made up some type of crazy name. But what I'm trying to say is, now that I've learned now, so if I go to the dispensary and it says this strain helps with your appetite, this strain is going to help with anxiety, this strain is going to help with pain, I will smoke that and really just block everything else out. See how I'm feeling prior to smoking it. And then while I'm smoking it and the effects afterwards. And that's how I noticed that marijuana definitely helps.
Okay. That's good. Definitely, I think that it helps in my workout, because you guys know I am extreme with my workouts and I go through some pain. But
I don't know how you do it like that. When I say, like, I mean to shout you out every day, like you go hard. I'm like, yo, does she have this like all saved up in her phone for years and she just puts on videos every day or something?
Nah, that's me day in and day out. Like I'm going
a hell of a routine.
I'm going to New York. I'm like, the humidity. Like I'm just, I haven't been in that type of humidity in so long, because I make sure when I do travel to the East Coast, I miss that. I always miss that. I always miss the humidity. I always miss the extreme cold. I don't know if it's God's plan that I'm supposed to miss it, but I'm always literally missing it. And the East Coast weather is so up and down, up and down, up and down. I remember when I was first going to move to California and I came to apartment. I was looking for apartments and stuff like that. And as soon as I got off the aircraft coming back to New York, like the whole right side of my face was like this. It's like literally as I walked out and the cold hit my face, my whole face was gone. I was twitching everywhere. I was like, what the just happened? I was just good 10 minutes ago. And like I had an immediate flare up. It lasted for about 3 weeks. And I'm like, it's just God telling me that I need to go back over there and figure out what's going on biologically in my system that's making me flare up like that. And I do notice a difference in different climates. I thrive in different climates. You know what I'm saying? And New York is not one of those climates that I thrive in. Let's talk about intimacy. I don't want to say sex today. I feel like let's talk about intimacy. I want to start with first your support system. I want to talk about you as a male, knowing that you have this autoimmune chronic illness. Where did your support system come from? Did it come from your wife? Did it come from your friends? Did it come from, especially you don't know what's even going on, so you can't even tell somebody like, yo, this is what's happening to me, bro. You can't, I don't think that you could just step out like that. And it was really hard for me to tell my friends and my family. What was your support system? How did you come to them, and how did you kind of open up the conversation?
Takes me back to that day I got diagnosed. Like I said, I blacked out that day. Like I've never been able to see things and not hear things and not see things at the same time. But I went to my fiance and I just let her know, not that day, after I kind of figured out and had a little bit of information, because the neurologist that diagnosed me, I left him right away, because the second time I went into his office, he asked me, he says, what drugs would you like to take?
Right off the bat?
Right off, nothing else. How are you doing? Did you read the pamphlet I gave you? What drugs would you like to try?
He handed you the motherfucking pamphlet.
Yeah, so I said, thank you, I appreciate it. And I took myself to a specialist in Philadelphia. So I deal with Penn Medicine. When I told her, I kind of just, when I figured out, because I was in a very, very bad place. I couldn't feel half my body. I was limping. I could hardly walk, in so much pain, depressed. We were like really, really good in our relationship. So I just kind of told her, I tried to tell her, I said, just leave. You know what I mean? As hard as that sounds, you know, and as bad as that sounds, I kind of just tried to break it off in a nicer way, because I felt that she would have to take care of me for the rest of my life. And I don't want to put that burden on nobody.
So you felt like a liability?
Definitely. Definitely. I still, to this day, I feel as a liability, you know, not knowing what the next day could bring, what the next second could bring, because I've dealt with it twice severely already. Just waking up and something happening, and the little things that happen now, just the little minor things that the MS just intensifies.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then Roxy, for you, how did you open up conversation?
Obviously for me, I was I was ill when I was 18, and they didn't realize I had MS. They thought I had lupus. So I had to already kind of talk to my nearest and dearest about that when I was 18. So the conversation of having MS was a little bit easier, because my disease had progressed so much that basically all I really wanted was an answer. All I wanted was someone to tell me exactly what I had, so then I could try and deal with it. So everyone was kind of almost introduced with the fact that there was something going on with me for quite a long while. So I kind of have always been kind of open with it. But maybe for me, that's because I've dealt with depression so much, it's kind of a coping mechanism. Like I feel like if I tell everyone, and if I do go into depression or something like that, everyone else is aware of what's going on, why I'm being triggered in a certain mental health situation, so that other people could almost look out for me, because it has been really dark for me at points, and I have done some really dumb stuff in my life to try and get through it. So I've kind of been forced, just in survival tactic, to let everyone kind of know exactly what I was dealing with from the jump.
In both your instances, I feel like you guys have dealt with depression before MS. Do you guys feel like MS, how can I first this? Do you think that MS was there from the beginning? Like, I don't know how to say it. Like, you were diagnosed at whatever age, but do you think your depression stemmed from having MS all the way back then, or came from somewhere else and MS just perpetuated it? You know what I mean? Just kind of said, yeah, let's ride this wave. We all gonna get on this boat. Let's ride this person's coattail, you know, until it falls off. Do you think that that was what it was? Like, it just perpetuated the depression where it came from, Was it because of MS? Brought on by MS? Was it, I don't know how to really.
Ooh, for me,
You're
it's
saying it right.
I
yeah, you are. But it's intense for me because for me, I felt like they came hand in hand. I definitely knew I had depression first, but I thought it was because I was feeling kind of off as a human in general, like my personality and everything, my thoughts were just wrong. And I didn't know that that was a symptom of MS. So in actuality, it was the MS that caused the depression, but I didn't know that MS existed
Mm-hmm.
to know, name it as MS. I don't know how that was for you, Justin.
Okay. And Justin.
Me, there are things that I see now in my past that I say is MS, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
That brings me, I guess, don't bring me closer to knowing when I actually began to have MS, when I was actually, it was in my body, whatever situation is. But there are times where before I was diagnosed, I could think back 2 years of something that happened and say, okay, that was MS. I definitely had MS then, definitely.
Okay.
But as far as my depression, I'm going to say that was brought on from my childhood and the lifestyle that I chose to live when I was younger.
Okay. Um, why do you think that is important in your relationship? What, why, what do you think that it was important in your relationship before your diagnosis that's not so important now? What did you really think that was so you needed in a relationship that you're like, I don't privy this no more. I never really needed this. This is something I selfishly sought out for, but I need this now. This is like, you know, like for instance, I thought clothes and having your shit together all the time. Like I need a man with everything. He has to have his whole life together before I even step into the door. He has to have a car. He has to have this. He has to have that. But now I know that you just have to be kind. You have to be a good person. You have to be honest. What are your takes? What did you look for before that you what did you look that you don't look for now? That's not what you're looking for. You're looking for somebody, what characteristics, if I might say characteristics that you privy before that you don't privy now.
Hmm.
The 18-year-old the pre-18-year-old Roxanne, what did she want before that the grown beautiful Roxanne is like, nah, I didn't need that.
I'm I'm pretty secure person, I suppose. I never really look for anything in other people and kind of look for it inside myself. But maybe if anything, it's just more about me as a human. I've just learned to relax. Maybe I've just learned to slow down a little bit and to just be grateful for what's in front of me and not to be wanting to run outside and just be
Gal-
ridiculous. Like just chill out. Like I don't need to be doing certain things to validate myself more than the person I'm looking for. Because I've always kind of looked for down to earth, grounded people, which is
Mhm.
probably almost the opposite of what I used to be. So maybe I've always kind of attracted or wanted to date someone that was probably the ideal version of the person I want to be that I knew I wasn't. Because as an Aries, I'm a bit fiery and a bit reckless, so I kind of had to learn to chill, and just like MS probably forced me to have to, in a sense, to slow down a little bit in certain ways, and focus and be grateful for just the morning sunshine and the people that are there to love you and support you. Because those people, I think we all know this, all of us, the people close to us, like we are very grateful for because they have to deal with a lot just dealing with us with MS, like they have to deal with a hell of a lot. And I'm sure none of us would change our nearest and dearest for anything because they're the ones that stuck by us through this whole journey, you know?
Very true. I like that answer. What about you, Sir Justin? Did you look for certain things in a female, and now you found the qualities in your now fiance that you're like, I never needed that in the first place?
Everybody paused.
Oh,
Everybody good? No, I was that guy. I guess I looked. It was all in looks for me when I was younger. I had to be looks. Now, you know, there's a very, very much understanding. You know, of it's a lot more than looks. It is. It is definitely. The woman I have, I would never. I don't even know if I sat down with the fellas and said, look, man, I want a woman that does this, and that. I don't even think it could match to the woman I have now. Like, she's wonderful. She's very supportive. I just never thought, like, you know, when I was saying earlier, like, I really meant to push her away. Like, I really, really meant to push her away because I know I deal with this. I'm dealing with it. Never mind someone that's not dealing with it. And that has to deal with my physical issues, my mental issues. Right now, my physical issues are up to par, but sometimes I be losing it. You know what I mean? Be mood swings, something. It's something.
Yeah.
You know, being in pain all day causes me to be angry. You know, it's hard to put on a costume every day. It really is. You know what I mean? There's times I wear the same costume and it gets so bad that I have to come out of it and people notice that it's a costume I'm wearing. You know, it's bad. But I can't say that any relationships that I had prior to this, they would have been out the door before I even would have pushed them out the door.
I think that in my past that I usually set myself up for upset. I would try, like you said, keep up with the Joneses when I'm not even part of the Joneses or nowhere near the Joneses. I'm not supposed to be affiliated with the Joneses at all. I would date guys that my mother would cringe at, you know, like, what are you doing? You're gonna be next to my daughter. Why is Zoom sending me a gift? What the heck? And the good guys, I would push away because I felt like I was not deserving of a good guy. I wanted to have the best time, whatever the best time was, because my clock is, to me, when I found out I had MS at 9.5 years old, my clock was ticking from that day. I was like, I gotta go. I gotta do everything. I gotta be lit. I have to be everywhere. I have to be at every party in Manhattan. I have to be everywhere. Who's inviting me here? Oh, we there. And I could barely stay up. That's the saddest part. Like, I would be that friend that would sleep on the way to the party, sleep in the back of the party, sleep on the way back. And nobody, why is she always sleeping? Why is she not turned? Why is she not with it? Why is she not having fun with us? And I have a whole chronic illness that I had to bring to the party with me. When I got dressed with my MS. When I took a shower, when I put on my makeup, that MS was on my shoulder the whole time. And I'm drinking this tequila or I'm having shots of Hennessy. That MS is drinking too. You know what I'm saying? So after you hype yourself, after I hyped myself up to the point where I'm having flare-ups after flare-ups. I'm like, wow, you got to take a step back. You got to really see who's around you, factor in all your elements, and instead of you letting MS ride your coattail, you ride MS's coattail. You see what this is about, and you see how you're going to make this shit work for you now. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I kind of learned who I needed around me, who was really supporting me, and how I was able not only to be just a good person, try to be less of a liability or a Debbie Downer, you know, to change my. I can't talk right now, honey. Sorry about that. I have another question for you guys because I'm with all the questions today. Now we're going to talk about more. Now we're from just relationships. Now we're getting into the bedrooms. How did that change for you? How did intimacy change from you from before you were diagnosed to when you were actually diagnosed? How did that change? Roxy, ladies first.
Okay, so it's been a journey, I suppose. I think for me, weirdly, I think it's improved actually, but that's for just many reasons. I think maybe because I've tried to improve my life a bit from when I first got diagnosed with MS. I was one way, a certain kind of size, probably quite shy, kind of internal. And I think over this journey, because I've had to go through so many things, I've almost had to come out of my shell and I've almost embraced myself and my flaws a bit more. So I've kind of opened up. But in the same breath, I've had to adapt as well because of obviously, as you know, the feeling, the sensations, the energy sometimes, you know, the positions, all these things kind of have to matter when you have MS, just so that you can get the best out of it, give the best in it, to be honest, and enjoy yourself. So yeah, for me, it's been weird because I've kind of been on a journey of health and weight loss as well through my MS stuff to kind of make myself feel better. So I think from just doing that, I've built more confidence in myself personally. But I do have a lot of spinal cord lesions and stuff like that. So there's like an internal like pull for me in my back. So I had to learn how to position oneself to get the best out of the moment. So, yeah.
Sounds concise and very I can relate to that. Justin, how has it changed and fluctuated from before when you're a young lad to now that you're a grown adult and you know about your MS, you know what makes you tick?
Like the only thing I can really say is just like the not interested, the fatigue, not in the mood because you're in pain. There's times, you know, you can't perform. Like, you know what I mean? You want to, but like, you know what I mean? It's just soldier ain't ready. You know
it ain't happening.
Yeah, you know, so it's just but I find more of the issue is just I don't want to say an issue because you know what I mean. I feel that relationships based on sex are, you know what I mean, it's not. Yeah, it's just it's not going to go nowhere. But I just feel like I lost interest in it. And it's not my woman, you know. It's all there. It's just my body just like, all right, just chill. Like I feel like I have like a 70-year-old, 80-year-old body. Like I'm just gonna give you a kiss on your forehead maybe 3 times a day and that's it. And we're good.
That's what you're getting out of me. I definitely feel that. Did anything change without getting too deep into it? Did anything change in terms of your attitude with your partner? Like, you know how you have mood swings and things like that? Because I thought I had to take medication for my mood swings. Like, I could be such a bitch and I turn around and be like, Diana, did you just do that? Did you say that to him? Like, you know, you have to check yourself. Did you ever find yourself checking yourself? Like, having to be like, chill, sis, chill, you know? Like, Roxy, tell me.
Absolutely. I had to learn to accept that I had anger issues for many reasons. MS, just fiery star sign, just who I am probably internally anyways. And realize that maybe it's not the other person all the time. Maybe it's actually you. Maybe you need to look in the mirror.
Yeah.
And that came to just like sometimes MS, I feel it makes you internal. So you kind of sometimes you only feel your own pain because we're so always feeling pain. But you have to kind of stop and like reset and learn to like look outside yourself as like in like so you can see the things that other people see, because our perceptions can be a bit off with the lesions in the brain and some of the medicines that certain people take. It can affect you, and not everything you see is as it is, and you've got to sometimes learn that that is the case. And sometimes that's where the intimacy comes with me as well. I think the partner I have, like, I've been able to trust their perception, which to me is like the stronger bond than sex, because sex is sex and wherever, but I want to be able to trust you, and that's the strongest intimacy. I can't get words out. For me, is having someone that you can be with and be like, okay, maybe I'm being a psycho, maybe it's me actually, and take that on board and actually trust that person's perception of you, sometimes over your own perception of you, is, you know, a strong bond to have.
Justin, did you ever have to check yourself?
I check myself all day. It's I would really like to say I really mastered humility, but then again, that boiling pot, you put that top on it, it leaks. You know what I mean? It's going to come out somewhere. And, you know, there's a lot of issues I have not dealt with. I still don't think that I have dealt with my diagnosis. You know what I mean? There's
You're so
issues.
fresh though. You're so, I feel like you're a baby. You're the baby in this right now in this room. You're the baby. You're so fresh to this, you know? And you have a family though. You got a whole family. But
Yeah.
go ahead. Continue. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. It's just that, where was I at? What was I talking about?
The boiling
Oh,
pot,
yeah.
the lid.
Like I just have, if something ticks me off or something is said, but I was always like this. I bring it to the extreme. But now I also notice myself, like, if everybody else is in a good mood, I might just be, back in the day, I was the center of attention, had to be center of attention. Now I will try to put myself in the back of the room and just sit and watch. And I feel that's part of my disease and part of growing up at the same time, a little bit of combination of both.
A little bit of wisdom mixed into there.
Yeah.
That's good. I had another question that I wanted to ask you. Do you think that medication had to do with anything of anybody's sexual performance? Did medication, or was it just MS? Do you think medication does have symptoms when it comes to anything in your sexual life? Does it affect it? Is it an affliction?
I'm just going to say absolutely with the knowledge that I have.
Okay. Okay, Roxy. You don't have to explain how. We're not going to get that deep. You can write your own advice. I know everybody could write their own tell-all, so you don't have to spill all the beans. But do you think medication had to do with your MS? Did it affect your sexual performance or anything, intimacy with MS?
Yes, but not my MS medication. It was more the antidepressants, all the antidepressants they put me on with like soul numbing.
I kind of just put a whole bunch of them. I filled out every prescription and I just stacked them up. I was like, there's no way I'm putting more shit into my body. No way.
No, I did it. I did it. When I first got diagnosed at 18 with lupus, I was so depressed. I needed help, and I took them, and it numbed my soul and I had to come off them. So yeah, I think antidepressants, not my MS medication, not my Ocrevus, anything like that, but these other side drugs they give you to manage pain and depression, definitely for me had made it just me not in the mood. No, I weren't feeling anything. So how was I going to feel that? Like it was weird.
Yeah, I used to just stack those up. They give out medication like Oprah gives out her 12 favorite gifts.
Some for you.
One for you.
Some for you.
Why not? All right, guys, this conversation is almost over. I am so privileged to have you both on the screen. But one of the biggest things I was thinking about that I really wanted to throw at you. So this is besides you becoming a father, which is extremely wonderful.
Thank you.
How do you think that being a father to a second child, you're on your second child, is going to change you, or is going to change the way that you see MS or the way that you perceive your future with your diagnosis?
As I look at it now, just like I was saying earlier, that with my younger son, you know, when I was diagnosed, he was 7, turning 8, you know, wild, off the wall. I call him Monkey, and I call him that for a reason.
I love little boys. They're so energetic.
And now with the second one coming, I thought it was over, you know, with the first one. Like, I'm never going to be able to play basketball with him. I'm not going to take him. I'll be able to take him to the park. And I was sitting in the car. I would be sitting in the car. You go play. And it was killing me inside. But now that I'm back to running around with this one and everything, I feel, and it's, you know, subject to change, that as long as I just keep up with myself, you know what I mean, keep that hope, you know what I mean, you know, dumb shit, take care of myself, I'm gonna ride it out. And I'm riding it till the wheels are off. I'm still trying to ride it after that.
Okay, and the bonus question. Suppose the shoe was on the other foot. Now, the person that you're with, without having any knowledge about multiple sclerosis, any knowledge about chronic illness, suppose the person that you were dating or you were with had MS. Would you still date them? We're going to do it without your knowledge of MS. You have nothing. Like, you don't know what the fuck MS is. You don't know where it came from. And Boo came up to you like, hey, went to the doctor today. I have a disease. It's called multiple sclerosis. What's the first thing you do? What would you do?
I'm going to get checked. I'm going to get checked.
You're going to get checked. I'm so weak. Good answer, though. Good answer. What would you do, Rox?
Oh wow, I'd research. That's the first thing I'd do. I'd want to know what it was. But I've been with my partner for a very long time, so I think I'd just be there. I just would be. I know what I'm like. I'm a very loyal human being, and I think I'd just be like, okay, let's get this done together. What can we do? What is it? We're gonna beat it up. Like, I'm just very that person, so I'd probably just do that. I mean, obviously it'd be a shock. Don't get me wrong, it'd be like, but you know, you've got to do what you got to do. I wouldn't leave someone based on illness. I think that's
yo, that's so crazy, because I would dip so quick, son. No, like and I knew we were gonna have so many different point of views with this, because I'm like, damn, I'm gonna tell them about to dip though. Like, how do you say I'm a bad person?
I wouldn't, because I wouldn't want it done to me. Like, I would just be like, oh no, I wouldn't want someone to do that to me. So,
like being a well person and a non-well person, and say you guys haven't been together for that long. Say you've been together for 6 months. Say, you know, it's all frothy and there's ponies and magical unicorns coming everywhere and everything's nice, and homie comes up to you and is like, hey.
Well, that's different, because 6 months I barely know myself.
that's the POV I want you to see it as. Being the 18-year-old Roxy dating somebody, some new ambiance, or being the 20-semi-year-old Justin, and you're dating somebody and they just come out like, you say you're about to go get checked in anyway. Your answer's phenomenal. But there's no
I
right
was wondering what kind of research Roxanne was doing, because you go Google on, MS, you go Google anything, you got it. You got it. You got it.
Yeah. That's literally.
I'm telling you. So, as you could talk to me on the phone as I'm on the way. Find out. I'm still checking my body, making sure everything's functionable. No, knew something, but the person I am, I'm on your side with the dipping part. We're going to have to talk this out. Like, we might not be able to be together,
But say now you're finding post. Now you know about MS. Now you're a little bit more cultured. You know what MS is about. You know it's a chronic illness. You know that you cannot catch it. But this person might go through some shit. Are you gonna be that down ass person? Roxy, I already know you're gonna say, hell yeah, I'm gonna hold you down. Are you gonna hold him down? No?
All day. That's the person I am. That's the person I am today, yes. All day.
I love it. Well, I got for y'all. Y'all answered all my questions. This was a bum-ass discussion. I loved all of it. I appreciate your hearts, your souls, and you guys being here, taking your time out to just answer my questions and be part of the narrative that is so lost, so not found, and so not privy to us. We are the voices. We are the now. We do have beautiful Black men with multiple sclerosis that are not ashamed. We have beautiful Black women with multiple sclerosis that are not ashamed to be like, hey, I freaking exist. I'm tired of being not noticed, and we're going to do something about it one way or another. All right? Guys, I appreciate you. I love you all. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for joining my little tiny spotted mind.
Love all. MS strong all day.
That's right. That's it. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye.